Hey everybody, what's happening? We've got a little bit of news to talk about today. Actually, a lot of news. And what the FedEx CEO came out and said today, worldwide recession. Now, first of all, FedEx, just deliver packages. Don't tell us what's going to happen with the economy. Just deliver packages. Well, why they are chiming in, the reason FedEx is chiming in on this is because they see their own business and what's happening within their company and their services. Interesting, right? So FedEx CEO Raj, I'm not going to try to pronounce the last name, told CNBC's Kramer, buy, sell, sell, sell on Thursday that he believes a recession is impending for the global economy. His pessimism came after FedEx missed revenues on earnings, and that is what he said. Will there be a worldwide recession? Well, as long as they don't change the definition, right? So there could be half of the globe starving, and all they have to do is say, no, look at the statistic, and that proves that there's not a recession. So these people, saying that there's going to be a recession, technically right now there is a recession, but there's not because they changed the definition. And the deciders will tell us when the recession happens or not. Bottom line for you and I, we need to continue to prepare for this economy uh, to continue to crumble. And let's just get ready for it, okay? Other news came out. World Bank. World Bank warns global recession rising as interest rates soar higher. Wow. So we can't have higher interest rates and not have a recession. We can't get any money for we can't get any return on the money that we put in savings. We always have to have rock bottom interest rates. And if we always have rock bottom interest rates, doesn't that just cause prices to go higher faster, the housing bubble to get bigger, um, car prices to go higher? The cheaper it is to finance something, and the easier it is for people to go out and buy something that they don't have the money for, prices go higher. It's simple. It's simple. But yet we have this, people scratching their heads like, will there be a recession? Is the economy headed into a downturn? This is nuts. This is nuts that we even have to sit here and listen to people from FedEx or the World Bank, tell us what's going to happen. We know what's happening. We see what's happening with debt levels. Why do you think there's record food lines at these food banks here, even 2 years after the health crisis? Initiated 2 years ago. It's been over now for the most part. Why are we still having record food lines, food banks running out of food, lines getting longer? Why do we have 20 plus million people behind on their utility bills? They now need a rescue program. Why do we have to forgive all these debt? Because people can't afford to pay it back. Their jobs aren't paying enough. But yet we're still looking at this unemployment number that's supposed to mean something. So you could have everyone in the United States working a minimum wage job and in tons of debt, but that's going to be a good thing because the number of people employed is high when really it's not. If you look at the overall employment situation, the labor force participation rate has not recovered. What does that mean? A lot of people took early retirement, even though they may not have qualified for full retirement. A lot of people still just checked out of the labor force, and these numbers are just so inaccurate, skewed, and phony. Next story here. Let's talk about what Robert Kiyosaki said. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Quote, time for the poor to get rich. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, real estate crashing. Are they really crashing? Well, maybe, maybe not. As predicted, middle class being wiped out. Silver moving sideways. Silver to stay at $20 for the next 3 to 5 years, then climb to $100, from $100 to $500. Everyone can afford silver, even the poor. Accumulate silver now. I don't agree with what he said about things crashing. I wouldn't say real estate's crashing right now. A 0.77% drop nationally in a month. I don't think that's a crash, less than 1%. But people on YouTube are still calling it a crash. So I guess maybe I should call it a crash too. That way I'll get more views. But anyways, Kiyosaki accumulates silver now. I actually agree with that. That is going to be the end game after this financial system completely implodes. And it could take his 3 to 5 years. It could implode next week because why? It's all propped up by easy money and behind the scenes market propping and manipulation. The debt market, the Fed is still doing what they do behind the scenes. They're doing less of it. If they were to completely pull back from supporting these markets, from supporting this economy, these markets would implode overnight. It could happen anytime. They could lose control. Somebody could hit the wrong button. The algorithm could do something incorrect. There could be a big scare event, a black swan, a power outage, a grid attack or hack that could bring this whole system down. And speaking of that, bringing the system down, the crisis was averted as far as the strike on the railways. That would have caused a lot more food shortages, a lot more inflation than we already are seeing. I was getting criticized, or people were asking, why I wasn't talking about this. This was a big thing. This was going to cause the supply chains to completely break down. There was going to be massive inflation. There was going to be food riots, shortages, starvation, famine. Do you really think they were going to let the railways shut down just a few months, a couple months before November? Right? There would be massive political implications if they would have let the railway system shut down. So, of course, they reached basically an 11th hour deal. And that is going to include a 24% pay raise to union members of the railways. And after a cooling off period, there's going to be a finalization of that. So, of course, they're not going to let that happen right before what's coming up in November with the elections and all that. All right, so that's why I wasn't talking about it. It wasn't really a big thing. I don't think that I knew from the beginning that a deal was gonna be reached. Basically, why would they not let it go through? If they would have had to, they would have printed trillions of dollars to throw at the problem, to kick the can further down the road, and to continue to make things appear better than they really are. All right, so these workers are going to get their raise. That's going to avoid a strike. Is the raise going to solve the problems for these workers? Probably not, because if costs keep going up, if the cost of living keeps going up, um, the pay raises are going to have to be every year, and they're going to have to be bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And I hope I'm wrong on that. I hope we see deflation. I hope we see crashing prices, boom and bust. I hope we do see the bust, and that would be nice. If the housing comes down, that could bring the rest of the economy with it. We continue to see upward pressure on mortgage rates. Let's just check in here with the 10-year yield. We know that the 10-year yield is indicative of the mortgage rate. So 10-year bond yield today is up. It's up higher. We're up to 3.459. That's a 1.38% increase from yesterday. So yeah, they're not looking to blow these bubbles up bigger at the moment. So far, it's deflation in housing, and we're going to see how that's going to ripple across the rest of the economy. Our next update is going to be a nice update about housing. And in this video, please let me know what you think. FedEx, global recession. World Bank, global recession. Kiyosaki, 3 to 5 years before silver explodes. That's his time frame before this monetary system completely implodes. Let me know what you think down in the comments, people. Thank you for being here. Big love. Bye for now, and peace.